This really is a kind of a multi-generational vision. I think that's what people want to see now, is ways of addressing problems that are going to endure. These forests should stand the test of time and be deciduous forests well past their own lifetimes. Here in the Yukon, we live in a fire-evolved ecosystem, which means that we have to coexist with fire on the landscape. But we as people who are now kind of facing challenges in protecting the places we care about and our own safety have to look for solutions to try to reduce that risk.
We need to employ every tactic that we possibly can in order to keep people as safe as possible.
I haven't been able to find an example of this being done anywhere else in North America, and I think that we're building it out at a scale and a pace that hasn't been done before.
The aspen planting project is what we call a stand conversion project. Remove conifer trees that are a lot more flammable and replace them with deciduous trees, which have a lot higher moisture content, in order to keep the forest as healthy as we can, but reduce the fire risk.
We're able to restore a lot of forest ecosystem function by reforesting the area with a different species that meets our management objectives.
Aspen are a native species. They're fast growing. They are more fire resilient and fire resistant. So they just don't burn as well as conifer trees. So our spruce and our pine trees, they don't have what we call the ladder fuels. So the branches hanging low to the ground. They don't have the needles that catch on fire.
It's very rare that aspen will actually contribute to fire behavior. Oftentimes if a fire rolls through, it'll just kind of scorch them, and only under the most extreme conditions will aspen trees actually burn.
We have also suppressed fires in close to our communities for a long time, and so we've actually kind of interfered in the natural disturbance cycle, and that's led to things like fuel accumulations in the forests around our communities.
Typically what you'd see in kind of a stand where fire has been allowed to burn is that the boreal forest will be kind of a big patchy mosaic of different species. We haven't had a large-scale stand replacing fire in this area south of Whitehorse since around 1908 is our best guess. So it's essentially evolved into a pretty continuous, dense conifer stand. Around 83% of the time our winds come out of the southwest, and they're kind of guided down the two valleys that move towards Whitehorse. So it's a really important strategic location to put these areas.
A wind-driven fire will really be impacted by that wind direction, so it's important to try to sort of cut off opportunities for fire to come into the community from the south. Being able to use a native species and a native sort of natural mechanism and adapt it to serve communities, I think is a really innovative way, but it's also just taking advantage of what we have around us. Treating it as living infrastructure or natural infrastructure that we've gone in and enhanced in some way.
Aspen have shown to grow pretty well in previously burned areas. So 3 of our blocks this year have been burned. It makes really good microsites for them.
Our goal is to plant around 30,000 trees per week. We're planting 232,000 aspen seedlings.
Up to 1.9 million with our agreement with 2 billion trees up until 2031. To our knowledge, that's the biggest one that's been done in the Yukon ever. There's a lot of steps to a plant. First, you need the seeds, and you need to grow those seeds into seedlings. Yukon Seed and Restoration is working with us to collect local seeds.
The really special thing about this project is that we're collecting seeds from Yukon provenance. The seeds have adapted to grow in the kind of harsher Yukon conditions. And in the long run, that will hopefully let these aspen take stand in these field breaks quicker. It's a little bit tricky because there's like a 2 to 3 day window where you can actually collect the aspen seeds, where that fluff kind of puffs out of the catkin, they completely dehiss and then they blow away in the air. So we have to really time it well in order to catch those seeds. Indigenous folks in different nations have been using fire as a tool to mitigate fire in the long run. They've been burning the land in order to create less fuel on the ground and have less intense burns, which is kind of what we're experiencing now across Canada. I think it's really exciting to kind of incorporate old teachings and use the aspen as a tool to protect us from these large-scale fires.
Like anything in forestry, what you do today always needs to be maintained, managed, and monitored. And I'd anticipate in 20 years, we're gonna have a really nice, healthy forest.
What looks like a cleared area now is going to be, a beautiful band of gold in the fall. And these canopies close and these trees are well over our heads.
I think Yukoners will be quite proud. I know that I am very proud that we're kind of implementing these tactics and taking kind of a holistic approach to reducing wildfire risk, and not only considering the wildfire risk itself, but considering what's valuable to people and what is going to make people enjoy this area for years to come.
There'll be these sort of beautiful green and gold aspen forests. We're keen to see them be stewarded in a good way for a long, long time.